he divided his land, and when the gates would open, they would be closed to block off the road, and he could drive his cattle through that, he could. There was a major project at the time, it was, and needless to say, like any division of land, the division of land might even go without having to share patrimony either.
Land division scenes at Borrisoleigh. Scenes of excitement marked the division of the Cook estate at Rathmai, Borrisoleigh. It was evident trouble was anticipated, as a large force of guards and detectives under Chief Superintendent Quinn Thurles were present. Hundreds of men, many carrying ash plants, were early on the scene, and shouts that no outsiders should get land were uttered. The Chief Superintendent had the entrance gate to the estate locked, but in spite of all precautions, the crowd invaded the estate. The parish priest, the Reverend Father Quinlan, addressing the crowd, said the claims of local residents and landless men had first claim. No outsiders should get land when deserving people locally wanted it. A fight developed in a section of the crowd, but the guards quelled it. Renewed demands were made by the local people for land. Reverend Father Byrne, church curate Borrisoleigh, addressing the crowd, said he stood loyally by the local people. Democratic rule should obtain not alone in land division, but in the making of local appointments. The pitchforking of strangers who came in over the heads of the local people was a disgrace, said Father Byrne. It was ascertained afterwards that 2 ex-RIC men from outside the locality had got farms. Intense dissatisfaction prevails over the method of division of the estate. That was the Nina Guardian, the 7th of April, 1934.
Okay.
Now,
I didn't go without his. There was the trouble over the division of land being one thing, I suppose, but paper doesn't refuse ink, and a bit of propaganda never goes astray. And they said about 2 ex-RIC men being pitchforked into the area. Actually, it was 2 ex-IRA men, it was, but that would be, I suppose, I didn't fit in with the narrative. But it wasn't just the landowners and the potential landowners who were dissatisfied. Also, there was discontent amongst the workers.
imported workmen strike in the County Tipperary. Land Commission workmen engaged on the building of ditches on the Cook estate at Rathmine, Borrisoleigh went on strike because 2 men from outside the district were given employment while local men were passed over. The strikers, to the number of 10 or so, marched back to the village with shovels on their shoulders. A strike took place on the Ryan estate at Inch a few days ago. Then the strike was settled. The strike on the Cook estate at Rathmine, Borrisoleigh has been settled through the good offices of Sergeant Connolly of the Garda Síochána. 50 men are now employed.
Peace was restored, and if you're within your 2 kilometre limit and you want something to do, or see something, maybe, or see something you've seen before but see it in a different light, go to Glenkeen Graveyard. I wrote a bit about it last year and I described it as the jewel in our crown. I think that's no exaggeration. And you know, every headstone, its inscription, you know, whatever, the story behind it, there's so many interesting stories. This one, to me, is probably the most interesting of all. Even though I can't trace the people, Michael Comerford, I can't trace who he is or where he came from. You know, it doesn't give any origin for him. I don't. The stone is unusual in that it's only slate stone in the graveyard. It's only, most of the monuments are limestone, the old ones. But what makes this one interesting is the iconography that's on the headstone. And we were talking to a man one day, a man called Christy Cunniffe from Galway. And this was the fall of the year, and around 4 o'clock, I suppose, Christy started talking about iconography, and he had stopped talking about when it was getting darker, we had to go, and he hadn't finished. So the bit I know about my minuscule compared to what Christy Quinniffe taught us that day, but there are some very interesting things on it, you know. And well, at the very top of the headstone, the Archangel Michael, you know, calling to death to rise at the day of judgment. And we see them, as she said, we have these cherubs, we have, you know, these depict the glory of heaven, you know, is their, you know, it's their significance. We have the dove without the branch, and the dove with the branch. There was a third dove, of course, but can't be there, but the dove that didn't come back was Noah's Ark. You know, Noah sent out the 3 doves. One didn't come back. You know, the first one didn't come back. The second one came back with Donald, and the third one came back with the branch, which told that the land was close by. You know, these, you know, the God has saved mankind, and this then translates to the Comerford family, you know, the saving of that family, and the people in the graveyard as well. You know, God's goodness and His infinite majesty and His love for His people. The cock and the post is what we have there. In other ones you have the cock and the pot. The cock and the post signifies the denial of Jesus by Peter, you know, before the cock has crowed, before the cock crows, will deny you 3 times. The cock and the pot is certainly interesting too, because that depicts the betrayal of Judas. And Judas betrayed Jesus, and he came home, and he was in bad form. He was, you know, he kind of felt guilty about what he had done, and he said to his wife, you know, he said, I suppose she said to him first, what's bothering you? You're very moody over something. And he said, I think it says I'm after doing a bad turn there. He said, you know, I betrayed that man. And, you know, he says he's going to rise after 3 days, and what do you think of me then? And the wife was supposed to have said to him, he says, if he rises from the dead after 3 days, she says, there's a good chance of him not rising from the dead after 3 days, as the cock rising over that pot, and with that the cock flew over the pot. That's the tradition that is. Very interesting here is the cross, the Armenian cross, the jewels, the pearls, the jewels and the pearls, you know, it depicts the richness of infinity, the glory of heaven, you know, the splendour of heaven, and such like. And here we have the IHS, and the same. The H is joined with as if it were a hyphen with a narrow upwards and downwards, and the significance of that is that little piece there is the last letter, the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, the alpha and the omega, the beginning and last, the beginning and the end. Again, the infinity of God's love and the infinity of the reign of heaven. So there's much more than that. In that there is, but I need to educate myself on it a bit better. But it's amazing. It's amazing to see that in real life. It is to see that stone in real life, and it's amazing when we heard Christy Quinniffe talk about that. The stories they had, you know, absolutely amazing. Absolutely, again, a treasure that's on our doorstep. And Shin Shin, that's it.